1. In the trunk of my car, there's a men's white business shirt, long-sleeved, carefully folded. It is for making good impressions. 2. I started at 11. I remember the sharpest shard of the broken plate, sharp like box cutter, X-Acto knife sharp, the safety edge scissors pressed hard enough. It's the first time I had to hide in plain sight. Clothing tugged down like a closed casket funeral only I was invited to. My mother didn't know until I was 13. 3, because I didn't stop. 4 years later, I stopped hiding and started lying. Caught on a nail. Caught on a fence. 5. One night, my mother's wine bottle told me how just once she tried to bleed out the poison her father had slipped into her childhood. She asked me whether some mad scientist had turned me Frankenstein's monster, stitched a victim self-loathing under my skin, and forced me to become my mother's daughter. I said no. If I can't remember the truth, it can't be called a lie. 6, scratched by a cat, scratched myself shaving, scratched myself 7. The 5th time I decided to quit, I started carrying a pack of cigarettes because there's no difference between cancer and this. There's no difference between my body turning against itself and my turning against my own body. I thought that one vice could replace the other. But it was only 3 cigarettes later before circles replaced straight lines and I started burning them on skin stretched over an ashtray. 8, burn my hot water, burn myself cooking, burn myself 9. I quit 6 times and I've never managed to stop 10. I met a woman whose lover asked her to carve pleasure out of him in bed. Just once, she tried to find understanding under her skin with his razor blade, but when it split, she said she could hear everyone who ever loved her screaming in her ears. 11, maybe if I keep trying, I will hear everyone who has ever loved me screaming, and I will believe anyone has ever loved me. I will drown out the echo of my own voice. Worthless, weak failure. I hate you. You've done it again. You're doing it again. 12. There's a rotten alpha core called attention-seeking, and each bite I take to avoid it is less satisfying than the last. My body is an open casket, and the corpse is starting to smell. 13, cat scratch, spilled coffee, broken plate, the blood's a paper cut. The blood is an ink stain. 14, my mother says she would prefer it if I wore long sleeves at family reunions. 15.
Come on.
I've watched little boys pick the wings off flies. I've heard every woman I love tell me how they've heard sharp edges scream to them. We all love to hurt the things we hate. 16. I started this poem with 16 scars and ended it with 55. Sometimes I wear a long sleeve shirt because sometimes I want to forget what I have been sure no one can forget. That I am too unhappy to pretend otherwise. That I want the world to feel as uncomfortable looking at me as I do in my own skin.